What's going on, everybody? It's Francis Adeosani, and welcome back to the channel. You know, the stock market can be a fickle beast, especially when we factor in things like politics. But today, we're diving deep into the top 5 industries that have thrived under President Trump's administration. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, understanding how the political landscape shapes the market is key to making smart investment decisions. Now, under President Trump, we saw some serious policy changes and market trends that have had a massive impact on several sectors. From tax cuts to deregulation, it's been a wild ride. So the question is, which industries have come out on top? Which ones are poised for continued growth even after the election cycle? That's what we're here to find out. We're breaking down the 5 best industries to invest in based on President Trump's policies and their long-term potential. We'll cover everything from the impact of tax cuts to deregulation and how these factors have influenced the investment landscape. So, are you guys ready to dive in? Let's get started. Our first stop on the road to investment success: technology and innovation. Now, you don't need me to tell you that tech has been booming for years now, but under President Trump, we saw this sector kick into overdrive. Think about it. Advancements in artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and 5G technology, all happening under his watch. And guess what? Trump's administration, for the most part, has been pretty friendly towards tech companies. Sure, there were a few hiccups here and there, especially when it came to international trade, but overall, it's been a good time to be in tech. One of the biggest game changers for the tech industry was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which slashed the corporate tax rate to a cool 21%. I mean, let's be real, who doesn't love lower taxes, right? This move was like giving tech companies a massive cash infusion, allowing them to pump even more money into research and development, and that, my friends, is the fuel that drives innovation. But it's not just about the tax breaks. The demand for tech services has been skyrocketing. We're talking about a global shift towards remote work, an increasing reliance on digital services, and the ever-present need for data protection, all of which spell big bucks for tech companies. Just look at the giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Their growth has been explosive. But here's the thing, it's not just the big players that are winning. Smaller, more nimble tech firms are also perfectly positioned to capitalize on these trends. And that's what makes the tech industry so exciting. It's a sector ripe with opportunity, whether you're looking to invest in established giants or bet on the next big disruptor. Now, let's talk about some specific areas within tech that are particularly hot right now. AI, cloud computing, and cybersecurity are expected to see massive growth in the coming years. Why? Because they're at the forefront of the digital revolution. AI is changing the way we live and work, cloud computing is making it easier than ever to store and access data, and cybersecurity is more important than ever in our increasingly interconnected world. So if you're looking for an industry with long-term growth potential, tech is definitely worth a closer look. And with Trump's policies creating a favorable environment for tech companies, now could be the perfect time to jump in. Just remember, as with any investment, it's important to do your research, diversify your portfolio, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Alright, moving on to an industry that's near and dear to President Trump's heart, the energy sector. Now, love him or hate him, you can't deny that Trump has made energy a cornerstone of his economic agenda. Remember all the talk about energy independence? That was Trump's way of saying he wanted the US to be a global energy powerhouse. And to make that happen, he went all in on domestic energy production, particularly oil and natural gas. Now I know what you're thinking, but Graham, what about climate change? What about renewable energy? And you're right, those are important considerations. While Trump may have rolled back some Obama-era environmental regulations and championed fossil fuels, renewable energy hasn't exactly been left out in the cold. In fact, even with Trump's focus on traditional energy sources, renewable energy has continued to attract major investments. Why? Because the global push for cleaner energy solutions is only getting stronger. Countries around the world are setting ambitious renewable energy targets, and companies are lining up to meet that demand. Here in the US, states like California and New York are leading the charge towards a greener future, with aggressive goals for renewable energy adoption. And that's creating huge opportunities for companies operating in the solar, wind, and energy storage sectors. So, whether you're looking to invest in the traditional energy giants or the up-and-coming renewable energy players, the energy sector has something to offer everyone. And with Trump's policies favoring domestic energy production, there's potential for growth on both sides of the aisle. Now let's talk about some specific companies that are worth keeping an eye on. On the traditional energy side, you've got companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips. These are the big dogs of the oil and gas industry, and they've benefited immensely from Trump's policies. But if you're looking for something a little greener, there are plenty of exciting options as well. NextEra Energy, Duke Energy, and First Solar are all making big moves in the renewable energy space, and they're well positioned for continued growth. So, whether you're a seasoned energy investor or just starting out, the key is to do your research and find companies that align with your investment goals and risk tolerance. And remember, the energy sector is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay up to date on the latest trends and developments. Chapter 3. Alright, let's talk about an industry that President Trump knows a thing or two about: real estate. Now we all know Trump built his empire in real estate, so it's no surprise that this sector saw some major action during his presidency. While Trump's policies were primarily focused on juicing up the economy through things like tax cuts and deregulation, the housing and commercial real estate markets also got a nice boost along the way. One of the biggest gifts Trump gave to real estate investors was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which we talked about earlier. This bad boy didn't just benefit tech companies, it also put a big smile on the faces of real estate moguls across the country. Why? Because it lowered taxes for real estate investors and made depreciation allowances even more generous. And that, my friends, makes investing in real estate, whether it's residential or commercial, even more appealing. But it wasn't just about the tax breaks. Trump's love for deregulation also spilled over into the real estate world, making it easier for developers to get projects off the ground. We're talking about less red tape, faster approvals, and a whole lot less hassle for those looking to build. And this was especially noticeable in major metropolitan areas, where the demand for new housing, office space, and industrial facilities was through the roof. We saw new developments popping up left and right, fueled by Trump's pro-growth policies. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the real estate market can be a bit of a roller coaster ride. Interest rates have been on the rise, which can sometimes put a damper on things, but here's the thing, the demand for real estate is still there. People need places to live, work, and play, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. So if you're looking for a long-term investment that has the potential to generate both income and appreciation, real estate is definitely worth considering. Just remember, location is key. Do your due diligence, find properties in areas with strong fundamentals, and you'll be well on your way to building your own real estate empire. Chapter 4. Alright, let's move on to an industry that's always in the news: healthcare. Now, healthcare is a massive sector, and it's been a hot topic of debate throughout Trump's presidency. While Trump's healthcare policies were mainly focused on dismantling the Affordable Care Act, ACA, and pushing for a more market-driven system, there's one area within healthcare that thrived under his watch: pharmaceuticals and biotech. Now I know what you're thinking, pharma? Those guys are always jacking up prices, and you're not wrong. But here's the thing, people need medicine, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Plus, the pharmaceutical and biotech industries are constantly innovating, developing new treatments and cures for some of the world's most challenging diseases. And that's where the real opportunity lies. Trump's emphasis on deregulation and tax cuts was like music to the ears of pharmaceutical companies. They were able to streamline their operations, boost their profits, and pour even more money into research and development. And the big boys like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Merck, they were laughing all the way to the bank. But it wasn't just the giants that were raking it in. Emerging biotech companies, especially those focused on cutting-edge areas like gene therapy, cancer research, and treatments for chronic diseases, also saw massive growth during Trump's presidency. Now, investing in healthcare can be tricky. It's a complex industry with a lot of moving parts. But if you're looking for an industry with long-term growth potential, healthcare is definitely worth a closer look. Just remember, it's important to do your research, understand the risks, and diversify your portfolio. And if you're not comfortable picking individual stocks, you can always invest in healthcare ETFs, which offer a basket of stocks in the sector. Chapter 5. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about an industry that's always been a big winner during Republican administrations: defense and aerospace. Now, Trump made no secret of his desire to beef up the US military, and that meant opening up the coffers and showering defense contractors with cash. We're talking about a massive increase in defense spending, which translated into some seriously lucrative contracts for companies in the defense and aerospace industries. And the big players like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman and Boeing, they were like kids in a candy store. These companies are responsible for building everything from fighter jets and drones to missiles and satellites, and they were more than happy to oblige Trump's request for a stronger military. But it wasn't just about traditional military hardware. Trump's focus on modernizing the military also created opportunities for tech companies that specialize in areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and space exploration. Speaking of space, this is another area where we saw significant growth during Trump's presidency. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, led by billionaire entrepreneurs Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos respectively, were making history with their ambitious plans to colonize Mars and make space tourism a reality. Now, investing in the defense and aerospace industries is not for the faint of heart. These companies are often subject to government whims, and their fortunes can change overnight depending on who's in the White House and what conflicts are brewing around the world. But if you're comfortable with a little bit of volatility and you're looking for an industry with the potential for outsized returns, defense and aerospace could be right up your alley. Just remember, as with any investment, it's important to do your research, understand the risks, and diversify your portfolio. So there you have it, the 5 industries that thrived under President Trump's administration. From tech and energy to real estate, healthcare, and defense, these sectors not only benefited from Trump's policies, but are also well-positioned for continued growth in the years to come. Remember, while these industries offer great potential, it's crucial to conduct your own research and maybe even have a chat with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The market can be unpredictable, and you want to make sure you're making smart moves. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest insights. Let us know in the comments, what industries are you most excited about right now? We'd love to hear your thoughts.